they're not all good, they're not all bad, but it's so easy to like transact. The way you find Vinci is you hire a bunch of people and you give them responsibilities and you see who starts to rise and you're like,
feet up in the air, a hammock full of dreams, man, I just don't care. Well, that's the lazy leverage way to steal their heart.
welcome back to Lazy Leverage. John Matzner here, joined by Justin Brown. Justin, how's it going?
Good. How you doing, John?
Good. Justin, you are, I don't know your official title, but it's like senior in operations at, can you give me like your official title?
That sounds great. Yeah, it's director of operations at Zen Windows.
Cool. And you guys are a franchisor in the window space, correct?
Yeah, that's right. We've got 24 different locations and 11 different franchisees. And then at the franchisor level, our owner actually operates, and we run 10 of those.
Cool. Nice mix. And you are a y'all have been Sagan Passport members for some time, and so the impetus for this call, it's just great, which is, I'm sure much like you, I'm always constantly kind of skimming communications, even if I'm not kind of the one on them. And I saw an email come back from you because I've seen you in a lot of like of our Sagan University continued education stuff and active in our groups and stuff, which is awesome, which is what we want. And I saw you wrote something to the effect of like, these candidates aren't the caliber we're looking for. We want smart, hungry, and coachable. I can teach them Windows stuff, just like the other couple that we've already hired. And I was like, oh, that's great. I want to talk to Justin. I bang that drum so hard. And I'm just like, I just want to hear you talk about that, because if I could just implant that idea into the world, I think it would be a better place. So just talk me through a little bit, like maybe some of the things you've picked up, or like, oh, we tried to get a guy who knew Windows and then we just decided to get somebody really smart, hungry, and coachable, and we taught him Windows in like 3 days. Or like, tell me a little bit about kind of your journey, because it's so aligned with my philosophy.
It's really interesting because I heard you say it. You say, smart, hungry, coachable before. And when I was trying to hire, and whenever I've been trying to hire in any job that I had, mm, I looked at everything and said, I think that anybody can learn anything. So I've been thrown into like, because that's how my world came from. I went to school for English, and then I found myself, troubleshooting locomotives. And then I was, before that I was working as event marketing and driving a semi truck across the country. And then you find myself here in this world of director of operations in, window business.
It's
So
incredible.
I just believe that anybody can learn anything as long as they've got a little bit of that drive, and they're hungry, and they want to work, and they want to, make good money and do good things. So it just came down to that. It was like we had a bunch of holes in our positions, and we had people that maybe weren't in the right seat. So coming into this role a little bit over a year and a half ago, that's what I had to look at was, what do we need? What do we need to get rid of? And how do we go about that process? So it was as simple as just breaking down each role that we had and seeing if people were in the right seats. And if they weren't in the right seats, then we had to make some moves.
That's
I had
great.
heard about using global talent, right?
Yeah.
I had heard about that before. I just didn't know what it really looked like.
Yeah.
And our owner, Kyle, got us introduced and figured out the Sagan Passport way. And before we started even hiring, it was one of those things where, yeah, I can make this really nice, awesome job description, and we can look at that and we can see all these things people want to do. But at the end of the day, what I want to hire on is attributes. If I can get somebody that can do all these things, like this is just skills. This is simple, and that's how it all started.
That's so cool. That's so, I mean, have you come and listened to any of our Sagan U stuff with Christian Ruff?
Yep.
I think I've seen you, because he's a
Yep.
big, special operations guy. And he's like,
hmm
dude, I can teach anybody to fly a helicopter. I can't teach tenacity. I can't teach figure it out. I can't teach, but yeah, dude, you just show up. We got you. And
Yeah.
I think the core phenomenon that I see when I look at like the original sin, what I think it is, and it sounds like you don't have this perspective, I think it's that everybody's in a hurry and they're like, I need somebody who can hit the ground on day one and be cold calling homeowners about whatever. And so what they do is they think that hiring for skills, somebody who has 20 years experience in Windows is going to make it so that they can hit the ground running. And in some ways they're right, But the fact is that they very rapidly top out versus the person who maybe has a slower ascension, but then once they're there, you're like, dude, this person is a machine. They're
Yeah. Well,
incredible.
don't get me wrong, John. I want somebody that can hit the ground running too.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I got an owner that hammers that in me that, you know, we need to move faster,
it's
move
all
faster, move
trade-offs. It's
faster,
all trade-offs.
which is fine, which is fine. Yeah. And the thing that's just really fascinating is like, that's what I'm learning in hiring all these people that we've been bringing in was, you know, I came from a background where we didn't have any onboarding. It was drink from a fire hose.
Yeah.
And
OJT,
I got
baby.
here. Yeah. And I got here. It was the same thing. It was drink from a fire hose. And I work really well in those types of situations because I just start picking and choosing and pulling things in and doing that. But that's the part that I have to separate myself from all the time is reminding that not everybody's me, you know, not everybody's whoever. And I'm not special. I'm not saying that I'm special. I'm just saying that I learn really well
You
that
do
way.
better in that
And
environment.
yeah, and so I figured that I get people on attributes, and then from there, if I have a really nice training plan for them, I can tell you within a few days
Us
if
too.
this person's
We're
going
the
to be
same
able
way.
to handle it, right? So that's what I think. So we're not wasting time. We're gonna hire slow. We're gonna fire fast. I know these are all just like cliches that you hear all the time, but they work and they're true and they're real, and we're seeing it. We're seeing a direct correlation with the success of the people that we hire and making sure that they're in the proper roles
Yep.
from these types of techniques that are they're not rocket science.
Yep. You know, there's one thing that I play with. I don't know what my description would be. You said hire slow, fire fast. I actually, and this sounds kind of silly. I think if I was to describe my style, it's hire fast, fire fast.
Yeah.
Which is especially globally, where I don't have to worry about like some of the complexities of labor law in Southern California, like I used to have to. Where I'm just like, look, I'm going to know in 3 days whether they're going to end up being a good, a growth potential EA who could become an operations manager. I'm going to know in 3 days. Look, yeah, she seems fine or he seems fine. Um, could I do a Myers Briggs test and have him do it? I'm like, feels like false precision. I don't know, man. So just like get him on. And if it doesn't work in a week, I'll be like, hey, Justin, it's not working. Best of luck. That's how it sounds silly. I think
That's
I'm
funny.
hire fast, fire fast.
You know what? You're not okay. It's funny you say that because like today, you know, we're looking for somebody. We're still working with you guys
Yeah.
to get this
How many
back
do you
off
have, by the way?
person.
You've done I know
We've
at
got
least two.
We've
Yeah.
got two.
Cool.
We have 3 total global talent.
Great.
The first one we got before you guys were
Awesome.
even paying.
Cool.
And then but yeah, this last person, you know, there's a lot of people that I think they've given us about 5 candidates so far, and they're getting it a little bit closer to where we want. But I was kind of had that mentality. I was like, you know what? Hell with it. Why don't we just bring in this one person? Let's see if this person can do it. Maybe I'm wrong. You know, maybe I was wrong about how they can how they'll perform. You know, because it's difficult to see in those interviews, in any interview with somebody,
Correct.
how they're really going to act
I have
inside
no
of
idea.
when you get them there.
I have no
Um,
idea. I'm
you know,
in this business. I have no idea. I'm genuinely telling you, I have no idea.
yeah.
Like, I don't know. I can't pick them in advance. If I could pick them in advance, I'd be doing something else. I'd be like, meaning for me, it's more just, do I think that they have the right attributes? Do I feel that kind of energy and personality fit that are going to fit our culture and personality? And then I'm just like, give them a shot. And I would say 25% of the time it doesn't work. 25% of the time it is an absolute home run. And 50% of the time, maybe they're a good fit but only for part of the job that I need. Or
Mhm.
they're a good fit, but it's actually that you need to be going and working an Airtable, not talking to customers. And so oftentimes it's like, oh no, this person's great. And I'm just going to push him against, you're going to organize our franchise conference every year because you're really good at organization, but you are terrible at customer service. So
Mhm.
that's what I do a lot of times is I think I'm hire fast, fire fast.
Yeah, I like that. I'm not afraid. We have this other role that we're
Yeah.
looking at too, on top of this one, that I'm 100% excited to basically do that. I want to throw somebody in that role.
Yeah.
Take your
I don't
swing.
know.
No, I don't like them. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
All I need them to do, it's pretty simple stuff, you know, but it's things that take it off my plate, and it's just,
Yeah.
you know, and that's the one thing that I kind of when we started doing this whole global talent thing was I just keep an ongoing list of things that I'm constantly doing that I don't want to do anymore. And a lot of it's just that data entry or pulling data, and you know, but highly trainable with a loom, and you just show that person, can you do this repeatedly? And can you be attention to detail? Not everybody can. I mean, still, even with a loom that explains it, to the T.
But those are the people you
Um,
fire.
but
Those are
but
the people
that's
you
a,
fire.
yeah, you get rid of, and then you don't feel bad about it because it can't do the
Correct.
job.
Correct.
So it
Correct.
doesn't affect me one way or the other
It's
in
to
that
me,
respect.
the other thing I'll say too is that for me, it's like I'm working on something I want to write. I haven't really figured out how I want to frame it yet. But essentially, it's like if you're expecting like, it's kind of like I want to take the pressure off the hire decision, where it's like if you're looking for an all star, if you think they all suck, or sorry, if you had a good experience or you had a bad experience hiring your first global talent, they're both wrong.
Like,
They're not all good, they're not all bad, but it's so easy to like transact. The way you find Bincy is you hire a bunch of people and you give them responsibilities and you see who starts to rise and you're like, oh, but I can't pick that person out in advance. What?
yeah.
I've never been able to do it. And I see that, we've done 1,000 hires plus in the last, and I can't pick them in advance.
Well, here's the problem that I'm working with right now is like the two that I picked out from you guys. Um, they were from live hire events, but not for the role that I wanted. So that was
See?
so just to be very clear, like they were not that. And I said, I want that person because I'm hiring off of attributes. So once I saw what that person brought to the table, like the first guy that we got is named Ulysses, and Yuli, like he said, I love to learn and I'm just always
Done.
learning new things. So I'm like, I want to interview this guy. I want to see what the most recent thing is that he learned. And that was fun. So we get a little breakout room and I start interviewing him and I go, first thing I need to know is what's the most recent thing that you started to learn that you didn't think you'd ever learn? And he was like, oh, well, I found myself the other day on YouTube just going through how a combustion engine worked because I never knew how it worked. And he goes, by the way, I'm not a car guy. And he just had an interest in
Where's
it.
he from?
He's from Nicaragua.
Oh, cool.
Yep. Yep. And then the other guy we got, Patrick is our, so we hired Yuli as a, for a sales consultant assistant to
Cool.
help my sales guys either update stuff, make phone calls. And then now I'm trying to transition him into an actual sales guy.
Cool.
Because he loves to learn. So I'm just going to keep force feeding him, straight from the fire hose, see what you can do. We put him in front of some customers. He's learning and he's doing well. And if the sales role doesn't work for him, I've got a bunch of other things that I know he can do well that I haven't even scratched the surface on. So that's the fun part about his role.
Are you comfortable sharing or a range or whatever what Yuli makes per month?
I want to say he's at 11 or 1200.
Cool. Full time U.S. business
Full-time.
hours, $1,100 a month. Yeah.
Yep. And then the second guy we got, which he's a gold mine to us. We hired him as an installation manager. Now, guy's got no background in Windows. I'm gonna make him an installation manager.
You see, I knew we
Because-
would have a good conversation. This is my kind of thing. Like, oh, he knows nothing, but he's a gold. Like, yep,
Yeah.
keep going. I love this.
Yeah, we're gonna. And so he's great because he's very fascinating. He comes from the Netherlands. He was in Nicaragua. We hired him. Now he lives in Costa Rica. His wife, I think, is originally from Costa Rica. So that's where he live now. But nonetheless, I hired this guy on, and I had like 7 days as a buffer to be able to just hand him the playbook that I created and said, I don't know, learn as much as you possibly can. Like in a perfect world, you read, listen, watch all of this by the end of 7 days. And then actually the 5
Yeah.
days. And then on Monday, you're coming in and I'm putting you in that role and you're going to run as much as you can. You're going to be, taking care of warranties. You're going to be talking to customers. And he just looked at me with like the stoic face and he goes, you got it.
On it.
Yeah. And it was amazing. And ever since then, it's been a really awesome working relationship because with me, he's 100% just business, just straight up business. That's it. And he's very to the fact, point everything. Like he's really good. And we were a little bit worried that it's like, man, how's he going to be with a customer? Well, listen to his phone calls with a customer. That guy turns it on.
Cool.
And it's just like, get out of here. Like that's exactly what I needed was this right here. So, he already within the first week was just straight up coming to me like, what's wrong? Why is this process like this? I don't like it. Cause he came from a background where he did SOPs and I'm like, fix it. He took it, moved it, changed it. I gave him like the access to all the, the files that he needed and all the spreadsheet. And this guy is just like, this doesn't make sense. Why is this here? This needs to be over here. And I'm like, keep going. And now it's, the warranty process has just become like a humming machine. we're still constantly like detasking some of the things that kind of happened from the previous person, but it's you know it's all coming together really nice. And we just him and I this morning just had our 60-day meeting, and my 30, 60, 90-day plan that I had for him, he already was pretty much touching into the 90-day plan by the time we were halfway through the 30-day. That's how fast this guy moved. So here's where I've got that attitude of that's all I do is get good people. So I think maybe I'm due for some maybe a little bit of a rocky point, or I'm just going to continue on with my outstanding streak.
I'll give you two different thoughts here. The first is if I was a Sagan member, which in essence I am, right? Because I do this, I don't put in hiring requests. I pretty much only hire out of the talent pool because it doesn't cost a credit. And I don't need to like, oh, I'm like, just show me people and I'll know them when I see them. And it's the same, you hired out in the live hiring events. I'm just like, let me just see the way they talk and just like a little bit of this. And I'm like, I'm gonna sift. And the guy might be a bookkeeper for all I know, but I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, that guy could do Zapier. And like, I'm like, hey, introduce me. Hey, I know you're a bookkeeper, but it looks like you love just like puzzles. Would you be open to learning how to build Zaps? And a guy like that is, 50% of the time they're like, oh, I do it for fun. I run and you're like,
Needed. Yeah.
but if you would have been like, custom source me a no code automation expert, and you're going to get, again, just this slow, just the way I hire, it sounds like the way you hire. I'm just like, dude, just show me a little sauce. And in 5 seconds, I'm going to be like, yeah, it's worth a shot or no. And we fire people all the time. We hire people like, and it's not like spiteful. It's just like, hey, bad fit, no big deal.
Yeah.
We had this woman, incredible, Mudunni, who started with one of our members. She was super great on camera, great English. Didn't work out. We tried her to use her for something. It didn't work out. And then we gave her to another member and she's thriving because we just found the right seat for her and it was with a member. So it's like, but because we saw the attributes, but we just didn't have the seat. We're like, oh, do you want to try this? And then she just we're like, bad fit. And we're just like, do you want us to go get you another job? And she's like, yeah. And she's thriving in this new role. So what I would say, given your hiring style, I would lean really heavily on the talent pool, man. Like, and the other thing too is that if you fire somebody, it doesn't cost a credit.
Yeah.
So like, you know what I mean? You could just be like, yep, tried it, didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, with all the things that we've got going on, I was hoping that process would be a little bit smoother for us, where the people that they put in front of us would be great. But it's like, I don't know. I guess when you're basing it all off of a judge,
yeah,
it's kinda hard to just, like, explain
honestly,
that to them.
it usually is, but given how much of a judge hirer again, we do most of our hires like by request, right? But like Rich Jordan, one of our members, he's used 3 credits and he's done 17 hires through Sagan.
Yeah.
Live hiring events, talent pool. Because because now his controller, it took us a couple weeks. We went back and because it's like, oh, I need to know somebody who knows how to do cost, but an operations generalist to schedule your crews and help do territory development. You're like, what are you giving us? Like
Yeah.
other than attributes. So if I do a hiring request, I'm just like, get me smart, under coachable. I'm looking for about $1,500 a month from this place or that place. I don't know. Just show me a bunch of people. If I have to do it, that's what I do. Because if I go more precise than that, I can't do the judge-based hiring.
I think you're right there, because that's where we're at right now, is probably because once I hit them with that email, they started to get me a couple more people, but it's kind of just like, put a lot more in front of me. I need to carve the time out myself to go into that talent pool and just click on listen to some people. Just listen to some
like a
people.
couple.
And yeah,
That's what I do. For our own internal hires, I go to the talent pool and I'll grab them out of there. I'll be like, just give me a generalist kind of thing.
mhm.
The other thing I was going to say for you, Justin, and we're working on this at Sagan U because we're kind of putting some more structure around it. The other thing I will just tell you as somebody who's been on the same journey that you've been on, which is what's good is that you've had some early wins. So you're just going to kind of carry this skill set with you as you continue on, right? You're going to,
Mhm.
when you need a bookkeeper, when you need a short form video editor, wherever you end up going, you're always going to remember that have a great guy from Nicaragua and a great guy, from Costa Rica or whatever, right? So it's good that you've got that. What I'll tell you is where I'm now spending almost all of my time on. I did 2 hours yesterday. I do almost all of my time in coaching and development of those folks.
Mm.
So you've probably interacted with a lot of the folks that it's like essentially a skip level meeting for me, but I've got about 10 people and we do an hour and a half a week on like management skills and leadership skills. how to give feedback. What does it mean to be a good manager? How to fire somebody, how to do an interview, how to problem solve, how to brief your boss, how to manage up, how to manage down. Because these people are so hungry for additional skills and they'll keep going if you keep feeding them, but you got to keep feeding them.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, I don't know, you're a manager now. And they're like, and then it all started because I was like, hey, have you ever fired anybody? And they're like, oh no. And I was like, oh shit, I got to teach them this stuff.
Yeah.
And so we're developing a lot of resources at Sagan U, so you can get some help on that. But I'll tell you that as somebody who's a maximalist, what I'm spending almost all my time doing is taking those people that you just named and like teaching them sales skills. Like, hey guys, here's how to run a good. They're like, oh, that's really useful. Like getting them training, getting them skills, teaching them software, having them go do 3-day workshops because I'm just investing in them. But that's what I'm spending almost all my time doing is training and developing and kind of coaching and mentoring my like ambitious global talent who's so obviously got upward movement potential.
Yeah, you're right there. I mean, that's what I'm doing with the guys that I have that are really good. You know, like I told you with Ulysses and moving him into wherever direction he needed to go, and
Yeah.
Patrick's just kindly just I mean, really owning his whole entire role. And I know which direction I want to go in with him. Him and I have had that clear conversation
Yeah.
of what his role looks like, and you know, he wants to be there for years. You know, he's just like, no, I'm
Oh,
happy. You know,
I
that's the
thought
first
somebody
question.
was
Are you happy? Are you truly happy? And he's like, I'm super grateful. He's
dude,
like, I love
the
this job.
first time I had that conversation where it was just like, "Hey, John, you got a minute?" And it's like one of our, ambitious members of our global team, and they're like, "Hey, I know it's like kind of early, and I know that I'm only like a, operations assistant now, but like 5, 10 years, I would love to be considered to be like an operations manager. I love Sagan so much, and you're like, what? Like
Yeah,
that's seriously? Like I'm used to,
yeah.
I'm just not used to that.
No, you're just pulling teeth to try to get something done to just get this email on time. No, could I just get it at 9 a.m. every morning? Please.
Correct.
Can I
And
please do
so
it?
to have somebody be like, I just want to tell you, I'm so grateful for this job and what you've taught me and your leadership and what we do every day. And I'm just like, what? You know, like what? I've been so beaten down, unfortunately. So I
Right.
can't think of any other way to say it. But cool, man. In our last couple of minutes, because I like to do these kind of quick and pithy. Any questions for me? Any you know, any random stuff I can opine on? Anything like that?
I guess the only thing you kind of alluded to that, like with Sagan, what they're going to be doing next. You know, I really enjoy the classroom sessions and stuff that you have. Um, but yeah, I guess what you were just talking about is like coaching your people on the different things, like maybe getting a burn list of that and
Yeah.
going through it and saying, hey, here's what I'm coaching them on this, and then creating those with experts in that field. So that way, you know, if I don't maybe have the time personally to do it, I can at least watch it, send it to them, and
So I'm
everybody
gonna give
keeps
you
it
the
rolling.
pitch. You ready? In the last 3 minutes. So saying you up to this point, I would say has been mostly classes, I would call them, or workshops. It's a single session. It's 2 hours with Christian talking about whatever, or Brian Wilson, right? And what we're moving more and more to is where we think we're going with it is kind of learning lanes. And these are designed to be at least like 12 weeks long, if not more, same attendees, and it's a progressive curriculum. And the 3 lanes that we think we're gonna focus on is number 1, essentially the fundamentals of management and leadership. So you can send your guy an hour a week and he learns how to fire somebody, how to write a good memo, how to problem solve. So that's the first one. And it'll be like 12-week chunks. So whenever you have new global talent you've hired, you just enroll them in the next quarter's management and leadership fundamentals and they at least get their 101 stuff covered. And then you get to do the 201 stuff. You get to do
Hmm.
the more specific stuff to Zen Window. So that's the first learning lane. The second learning lane that we're doing is AI and automation, which is I want every member of our team doing more than just shitty one sentence prompts. And Justin doesn't have time to keep track of all of it, but you can send your guys to it. And it is a 12 or so week, maybe more, maybe less, progressive curriculum being like how to write a good prompt. Like Justin knows his team needs to learn how to write a good prompt, but Justin doesn't have time to teach them how to write a good prompt. So as part of your Sagan membership, we'll do it for you. So that's the second one. And then the third one that we think is pretty much universal. These might change, by the way, but I'll tell you my current thinking is personal organization, all the GTD stuff that I do. because I want every member of my team understanding how to capture action items and use Kanban boards and figure out next actions. Just every single member of my team, I want to at least have a basic understanding of like how to take notes and capture action because I don't want my team with 500 emails and colors. And so does that sound like
Yeah.
As a Sagan member, is that the kind of thing you'd send your team to?
As a Sagan member and a and strong standing, yeah,
And,
that's great.
uh, no,
Yeah, I think that's great. I think those are great things. All three are great things.
cool.
Um, yeah, and yeah, because I went to your organization, meeting, and I took a bunch of that, and just the GTD stuff has been
Correct.
super helpful, and been able to share that with my guys as well.
I want your team to come and learn, hey, we're going to do 90 minutes on your inbox, your email inbox. And we're going to talk about how to do it because I sometimes see what our team does and I'm like, how do you get any work done?
Yeah,
And so I'm like, I need to have the fundamentals and then I need to teach them how to take notes in a live meeting. And it's just so that's the idea is we'll still do those kind of like random workshops, but just about random things that I think are interesting or useful, right? IT security or whatever. But I want to have these core learning lanes that I'm building them for our team because I want every member of our team to be a manager and leader, stay organized, and use AI and automation. So I'm just going to build them. And if you guys want to come, it's okay.
yeah,
That's my
yeah.
philosophy.
It's definitely something I'm very interested in.
Cool.
I would enroll my people in.
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
this plan.
perfect. Awesome. Cool, man. Well, as always, just it started with an email that I guess other people who are less psycho than I am, which was just like, hey, these aren't exactly what I was looking for. I'm like, no, I want to do a podcast with Justin because I'm so happy that that's what he wrote. So it started with that, but I'm happy we've done a couple hires for you. You've been taking advantage of some of the other member benefits, and I'm sure we'll get you a bunch more hires. I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, yeah. No, really grateful for you and your team, and they're very good, very responsive
Thank you.
to any of my issues and stuff like that. And yeah, you guys are doing some really good stuff at Sagan, and yeah,
Appreciate
happy to
that.
be a
That's,
partner with that.
I love seeing your name pop up. Seeing what's your Kyle?
Yeah,
Yeah, seeing Kyle's name, it just makes me happy, man. I just loving working with franchisors, love working with people who are kind of like, we're all on this journey together. We're all learning from each other. We're all
hmm
trying stuff. And it's just, it just makes me happy.
me too,
So
me too.
thanks, man.
I appreciate that.
All right. I appreciate it, Justin. We'll talk soon, man.
All right, sounds good. Bye,
Bye.
John.